Alrighty, we are live. We're going to be here for some winter storm coverage. We have obviously our major blizzard that is currently impacting the Midwest. We're also talking about our severe weather coverage, as we do have a possible severe weather outbreak, including tornadoes today. So we have a lot to cover in today's live stream. Alright, I'm going to be live for as much as possible today. I will be busy, though, at some points of the day, so I will have to take an absence of streaming at some points, obviously, but we will be here for when we can be. Alright, but this has really turned out to be a very impactful storm, and the impacts just keep coming, so we're going to be here for blizzard coverage. What's up, Davis? What's up, Patrick? Glad to see you guys. But yeah, I mean, conditions are really deteriorating, and they have been over the past couple of hours here. Alright, you can see right now, actually, Davis's area is getting pretty slammed pretty good by some of this really intense snowfall. I don't know, Davis, if you're seeing snow or freezing rain or a mix or whatever. Alright, but it seems to be either glitching on the radar, or we just have a very heavy and nasty wintry mix in the Effingham area. But along I-70, we're just seeing really terrible conditions. I believe in St. Louis, we are starting to see that freezing rain really take over here, as that does get very heavy. So we'll really have to watch out for that. But still very heavy snow up into the Kansas City metro area. Obviously, we did have thunder snow earlier. Very, very harsh conditions out there. You can see, wow, look at this. We have more thunder snow. This is near Seneca, Kansas. We have 2 bolts here. So we have thunder snow ongoing there. And then we also did have thunder snow a moment ago just to the west of St. Louis. And I believe, yeah, that's not on the map anymore. But there was definitely a couple of bolts there. Alright, and then we also do have seems to be the radar is detecting more thunder snow in a lot of these areas. I'm very the impressive part, I'd say, from this is just the amount of thunder snow we've seen. We've also seen a lot of thunder ice and thunder sleet, so it's pretty wild stuff. But the radar is picking up on a lot of lightning strikes near Cape Girardeau. And we could definitely have some mixing going on here, as we could have freezing rain as well, so you could argue that this is considered, you know, freezing, or thunder ice there, so. There's 50 dB snowfall earlier. Yes, I did see that. That was quite intense. In fact, we still have, very, very heavy snowfall going on down there. Alright, so you can see, obviously, we have our ice storm warnings going out for southeastern Missouri into southern Illinois, and then parts of extreme western Kentucky there, and then a lot of counties we also do have under winter storm warnings here, extending from all the way from really central Kansas all the way out towards, you know, southern New Jersey into the Delmarva region here. Alright, so, you know, a large swath. I mean, this is at least, I'd say, probably 2,000 miles, 2,000 mile swath of winter storm warnings here. So we can measure. So let's see. Yeah, so well over 1,000 miles. So yeah, about 1,390 mile swath there of winter storm warnings. So just a absolutely massive storm there. All right, but we also have another thing to talk about, which is severe weather. We have a severe weather threat today, as we do have a 10% hatched risk for tornadoes. We also do have, obviously, that enhanced risk of severe weather, but if you take a look at the radar, you can see we do have quite a few supercells that are starting to get going here across across portions of central Louisiana. We have reports of the sun breaking through the clouds, which will obviously really enhance the instability and tornado threat there. Alright, so this is definitely quite the concerning event here. I do think a strong tornado or two is possible. But you can see a lot of hookage starting to develop here on these storms, and these are just now starting to develop, but these are very discreet. Alright, so we're going to have to watch each and every one of them as they begin to start rotating, but as long as we get, you know, enough shear and, you know, those kinematics and obviously the thermodynamics to really kick in this environment, things are really going to start to get ugly out here. But you can see our temperatures already in the upper 60s, low 70s, which is, I'd say, fairly favorable for severe weather, so really going to have to watch out for that. And then behind all this. This is where we have our severe warnings. This is our main line of severe thunderstorms. This is where our QLCS event will come into play. Okay, we could definitely see a couple embedded tornadoes. In fact, we actually have a pretty nice hook echo developing near Greenwood, and there could be some broad rotation in here. So if you're in like Elsian Fields, just definitely make sure you're paying attention to the weather right now. But that's on top of that kind of area. All right, but as long as we get enough, inflow with this line, we could definitely see a possible very small embedded tornado threat. But for the most part, we'll probably see damage wind gusts along this line, and then eventually they will swallow up these prefrontal cells. But these prefrontal cells will begin to start producing tornadoes, and they will try to produce tornadoes all afternoon. So really, a lot going on right now. What's up, Laura Stone? What's up, Jack? Can't wait for snow. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I know y'all are gonna get a pretty nice winter storm out there in I believe we're in the DC area, if I'm not mistaken. But, yeah. I know y'all are under a winter storm warning right now for, accumulations between 5 to 10 inches and up to a foot is possible if heavy spots, or if in isolated spots, if heavy banding sets up in this area, so. And then, ice accumulations are also possible with that. So, yeah. But right now we have storm chasers out in this region. We have Storm Runner Media. And then we also do have our Dragon Nation cam that is currently in our blizzard warning. Now, I'm not going to try to pull the cyclone ports up too much because obviously we don't have exact permission from them, but I think it is okay to just once in a while kind of take a look. But yeah, you can see a lot of snow falling. If you looked at this on our stream yesterday, there was no snow on the ground. You can see we have what looks to be a couple inches of snow on the ground here. So also look how terrible these the visibility is. You really can't see much past where this hill kind of starts to slope and kind of go down there. But you can't really see much past there, so really low visibility there. That temperature at 17.7 degrees, so really cold temperature there. That wind chill is below 0, so pretty wild stuff with that. Alright, but you're getting sustained winds at around 20 miles per hour. Actually, that just dropped pretty considerably there, but this is in our blizzard warning, so obviously blizzard conditions are expected in some of these areas. But really just not good stuff that we're seeing here. Alright, but if you're south of Kansas City, we're talking about really intense frozen precipitation here, obviously. That freezing rain starting to kick into gear. You can see 30 plus DBZs across the board out there. Alright, so that's pretty much just along Interstate 35, so we'll have to really watch out for that and pay attention to that as closely as possible. But if you're talking about like St. Louis, I know you guys did see a couple inches of snow. Okay, at the very moment, right now, we do actually have a very, very heavy band of freezing rain coming in. Wow, so it's actually in the lower 40s there, approaching the Chesterfield area. So that's going to move into St. Louis soon. That is going to produce a lot of ice accumulations there. Okay, so if you move off to the east, all right, we head into Illinois here. All right, we kind of, touched on this area a little bit earlier. A little bit of ice starting to come down there. Or freezing rain in southern Illinois, but definitely a lot of snowfall across the board. Okay, Dave, so you're still watching. It'd be great to actually know if there is snow coming down, or if it's more like a mix or kind of like freezing rain out there, because I know you're kind of on the line of freezing rain and snow at the moment. But, yeah, I mean, it's definitely starting to come down out here as well. So, things are starting to pick up. Another area of about 40 DBZs. I don't know if you saw it, Kevin, but there are reports from various storm chasers that there is breaking in the clouds, so instability is really ramping up, and this is not good. I think we're seeing a very, very unstable environment, and obviously if we get that shear to kick in, then in the kinematics, obviously things are really going to create a very ugly scenario today, but, I just think that with the amount of discrete cells we have already firing, it's not looking good. This is gonna be a long day. And at the same time, we have to watch everything that's happening with our winter storm, because we have a couple major cities in the United States that are currently being impacted by one of the biggest winter storms of the year. I'm gonna say it right now. I mean, it's January, and I mean we have blizzard warnings, so yeah, I can freely say that. Yeah. Okay, so this area of inflow we were talking about earlier, with a little bit of hook edge developing, that's actually going towards Shreveport. So, and that is actually the strongest part of our line. So, if you're in Shreveport, you're going to probably be put under severe thunderstorm warning fairly soon. Alright, but that's approaching Greenwood, Wascom, and then obviously Shreveport there. Okay, no strong rotation going on. There could be a little bit of rotation maybe somewhere in here. Alright, but as for now, there's no present tornado threat with this, but obviously it's just something we're going to monitor. Rotation on top of Jonesboro. I don't know why I needed to look that up. I know we've talked about Jonesboro before. Oh yeah, I do see that actually. So yeah, we have rotation near Jonesboro. Let's see. So that's off the Shreveport radar. Let's look at. Oh wow, yeah. So we have rotation in Jonesboro, according to both radar sites. So, like Ken said, that might end up needing a tornado warning. That granted, that is far away from the radar site. But if we can change tilts here, let's see. Let's look at tilt 2. Yeah, still some of that rotation going on as we look a little bit closer to the ground there. Yeah, there is rotation on Jonesboro, so get to shelter. But that's something that we've been worrying about for the past couple of hours, is just that we could have these cells that will start producing or start rotating and eventually producing tornadoes. But yeah, just got this little cell here near Bellbower, and we'll see how that does, because that does look to me like it could down the line start trying to produce tornadoes. But yeah, for now, I kind of have my eyes locked on this part of the line that's about to hit Shreveport, because I do think our power outages may start to spike fairly quickly, if that does end up getting serious about producing damaging wind gusts, but we'll see. It's a crazy chicken lady. Happy New Year. The radar is wrong. It's snowing sleet. You're northern St. Louis right now? Okay. Yeah, so right now, what seems, we have probably a mix, if I'm correct. I know Radar Mega is not the best radar to use for, or app to use for winter storm coverage, but we're just gonna use it because it's a lot easier than Radar Scope. Okay, so this is mostly sleet if you're in this area. So if you're north of St. Louis, you're kind of inside here near St. Charles or Wentzville, and you do have pockets of close to 45 dBz sleet or freezing rain, but yeah, this is getting close to 50 dBz near Chimois. So yeah, this is really looking like a very concerning event, to say the least. But everyone hit that like button. Yeah, there was a tornado warning earlier. I believe it was in Hope, Arkansas. I don't know where that's at. But, yeah, over here. So, you can actually see, we could look back at the rotation if we go past scans here. So, whoa, what the heck? I don't know why, but it's trying to show reflectivity and the winter weather radar at the same. There we go. Yeah, so we had a tornado warning for Hope, Arkansas. I remember I did just get out of church and I looked at radar and we did actually have very strong rotation. It looked like a tornado was definitely possible with that. We had strong rotation on both radar sites that were close to this storm here, but you could see a little bit of that inflow notch starting to come in on radar. It's very far away from the radar site, but you can kind of see that there. Yeah, we're looking at the wrong radar site, but I believe this was actually associated with the northern part of our line, which is pretty wild. But yeah, if we put this back, probably see that much better. Yeah, so we had rotation. I don't know why it's not coming up here, but there was definitely rotation going on. But yeah, everything's fine. Well, Kevin, I think it's just because also it's in a pretty bad radar hole. It's very far away from the radar site. Also, at least on reflectivity, the storm presentation doesn't look too intense now, but I see what you mean. I think it could definitely get a tornado warning. And I wouldn't say that if they issued a tornado warning for this storm, I wouldn't say that it's the wrong choice. I can see why they wouldn't issue one. Because it is still kind of a developing supercell, but there is certainly rotation going on here, and it is pretty tight. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is starting to get stronger. And that has been going on for the past couple of scans there. Yeah, right here, when it was on top of Jonesboro, that started to get pretty concerning. That kind of came out of nowhere, so I mean, this is a uptrending supercell, obviously, because it will take advantage of the environment. See, I would turn on dew points, but I do want to monitor temperatures, obviously, up north, to kind of get a sense of where our freezing line, maybe. But I guess for a brief second, we can turn on those temperatures, or those dew points. So, let's see here. You know what? We can do both, actually. I didn't even realize that. Nope, we can't. Alright. Once this kind of loads up, we'll be able to take a look. Yeah, so if we take a look at our dew points here, this is what our environment's looking like now. We already have dew points in the mid to upper 60s there, so I think if we see into the 70s, things will get much more concerning. But I'd say that this is definitely turning out to be a much higher looking severe weather event than we initially expected, if you're asking me like yesterday. What's up, Brizzen? Thank you for joining. Once again, if you're just now tuning in, we are tracking our major winter storm moving across the Midwest. Obviously, we have blizzard warnings in effect, but we have Storm Runner Media. Also, we have our Dragon Nation cam out here to kind of monitor conditions. Wow, yeah. So blizzard conditions are starting to really show out here. I mean, you can see a lot of that blowing snow, but look how much visibility is dropping here. I think this has definitely gotten worse over the past couple of minutes here. But that real feel, that wind chill, it's below zero. So this is very harsh conditions. There's that. Okay, so your gusts are over 20 miles per hour, so you're pretty much right around the criteria for blizzard conditions out there. And then we also do have our very heavy precipitation near St. Louis. Okay, this is not even looking at the winter weather radar, and you can see we have many pockets indicative of 40 plus dBz precipitation. There we have 52 dBz freezing rain. That is wild. Holy crap, it is coming down out here. Look at that. That is wild. If we have any viewers from St. Louis, I know Patrick is in St. Louis. Yeah, power outage is on the rise in southern Missouri. We have reports actually of downed trees and power lines. But if anyone out here is in St. Louis, let me know what it's going on out there, because right now it's probably coming down. Second tornado warning today. You've called both. But yeah, everyone like the stream and share the stream as well, so we can get this out to as many people as possible. Because obviously, this is a very, very impactful day. All right, let me change the date because it is no longer the 4th; it is the 5th of January. There we go. Alrighty. But yeah, that's definitely not looking good. Actually, we did get a mesoscale discussion for the snow, actually. So just give me 1 second, everybody. But yeah, okay. So this was, I don't know when this was issued. This was issued. Does it say? At 10:58. So. Okay, this was a couple hours ago, but heavy snow will transition to sleet and freezing rain through the afternoon in this area here. Okay, pretty concerning, area to watch out for, but that's where we're highlighting the next area to see that freezing rain and that sleet kind of to come through. Now, they could definitely extend those or expand the ice storm warnings. I wouldn't be surprised if they expanded the ice storm warnings to the Louisville area, because look at all this that's coming down right now. I'd say for the most part we've actually seen more ice than expected with this storm, to be honest with you guys. But yeah, that's fairly concerning. And there we go. I don't even see that, but they did warn the storm that Kevin was talking about. Okay, so we have a tornado warning. This is for east of Monroe, Louisiana. Okay, this is just northeast of Jonesboro, Louisiana. I didn't even realize that it was warned. The sound didn't even go off. But we have a tornado warning. What's up, Levi? This is for Arrows and Chatham. Alright, we do have some pretty strong rotation going on here, so we're going to have to watch out for that tornado threat. Yeah, look at that couplet near Hebron and St. Clair. That is going up towards I-20, so if you're on Interstate 20 towards Monroe, make sure that you're getting to shelter. Or pull off the road and make sure you're getting indoors and away from windows. So we'll have to watch that for a tornado threat, and we do have a pretty clear CC on there, so we'll be able to definitely watch for when that tornado does touch down, if it does. We also did get a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for Shreveport. Alright, this is for 60 mile per hour wind gusts, hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and it does have the tornado possible tag. Look at this little embedded cell. Or it could just be a pocket of inflow, but little nice hook edge here near Greenwood, and this is moving right towards Shreveport, so get ready for a sudden kind of increase in those winds. You're also going to get, obviously, a lot of lightning and a lot of thunder, and heavy rainfall with that, but also we are starting to see a little bit of a, sharper contrast here in our line near Belcher, and that also is definitely something that a sign that could be indicative of stronger winds there. So eventually we could see a pocket of 60 to 70 mile an hour wind gusts develop kind of in this area, and that does include Shreveport points north. So definitely be aware of that. It's going well, Levi. How are you doing? Glenmore, Louisiana. Let's check it out. Glenmore. Alright. Oh, Glenmore. Okay, so let's change radar sites here, because obviously, yeah. Okay, yeah, so we do actually have, looks like 2 supercells trying to pop up here near Glenmore, Forest Hill. Yeah, there is actually some broad rotation going on here. This is, the concerning part with this, though, is that these storms are already rotating, and that storm already has a tornado warning. That kind of just popped up, over the past, 20 minutes. But we already have broad rotations starting to set up near Glenmora or McNary, and Longleaf in Louisiana. Definitely does not need a tornado warning at all. Also, we have rotation near Lecompte, or Lecompte or Lecompte. I don't know how to say that, but that's in Louisiana as well. All right, so that area of rotation will be crossing Interstate 49. You just got thunder snow? Dang. Okay, so yeah, we have thunder snow in St. Louis. I mean, that doesn't surprise me, but wow. So yeah, according to Patrick, we have officially have thunder snow in St. Louis. Yeah, St. Louis has thunder snow. I know you guys have probably been seeing that over the past couple of hours here. But yeah, I mean, that is right where our very heavy area of precipitation is falling. I mean, we have 50 dBz freezing rain in St. Louis. Or I guess it's sleet, according to Patrick. Yeah, I mean, you're in northern St. Louis, you're probably getting hit by, I'd imagine you're getting hit by that area of freezing rain. South Toledo Bend, Louisiana. Let's take a look. I know I've heard of that area. Let's actually also look at our tornado warning while we're at it. We'll get to there in a minute, Kevin. So yeah, back to our Jonesboro storm. I'd say rotation is letting up a little bit as far as what the very current, the very next scan is showing here. But if we let's look at the other radar site. Yeah, so still probably got strong rotation going on the upper levels of the atmosphere, but I don't know. We'll see. You wanted South Toledo Bend. Alright. South Toledo Bend. Are you talking about Texas? Because there's one in Texas. Okay, yeah, you are. Alright, let's take a look here. Yeah, this is about to cross into Louisiana. As far as velocities go, I don't see any rotation. Yeah, I'm not too concerned about this up here. If you're talking about near Hornbeck, there is actually a little bit of a hook echo developing. Does have some fairly broad rotation. And this is actually entering the prime environment. So, yeah, that is something to watch out for. So, yeah, I definitely would consider taking a look at this. If you're in Monk's Hammock or Hornbeck, got rotation there. So, but, yeah, I do see that. Yeah, a lot of lightning producing out here near Shreveport, so pretty strong with the line there. And there we go. So you can actually see a little bit of that inflow starting to come in here. So there, the inflow notch is starting to develop. And what we don't want is rotation to develop here. I don't think we have any at the moment, and if we do, it's very, very broad. Okay, but that's currently impacting the radar site, so I don't think it's gonna, knock out the radar site, but let's just hope it doesn't. Alright, we did just get a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is for El Dorado, Haynesville, Junction City, Cotton Valley, Homer, Smackover out here in southern Arkansas and northwestern Louisiana. Alright, that's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It does have the tornado possible tag, and that's for hail up to 1 inch in diameter there. Alright, so that's for this part of the line here. It's still producing that damaging wind gust there. We also did see a little bit of inflow wind starting to develop south of Plain Dealing. No rotation going on there, but we'll have to watch that just slightly. But yeah, dew points right now are in the right around the mid 60s, so we'll kind of watch as they continue to increase. But we're not even. It's right around noon Central Time right now, so I mean, still got a long way to go. let's go back to our storm near Monroe, because obviously Monroe being a very populated city, we need to make sure that everyone's aware of the situation. If this were to kind of continue rotating, it'd probably go through Eros, and then probably, I'd assume, clip the northern side of Monroe. But obviously we can't really assume things. We're going to have to watch and see. Or no, that's going... Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. But that's definitely going to cross Interstate 20 before you know it, so... So yeah, kind of just watching all these little cells that as they continue to kind of gain strength. I'm pretty sure Davis will probably go live if we do get any concerning, areas of rotation and any, tornadoes on the ground, obviously. But I'm pretty sure he's, getting his footage right now because obviously he's being impacted by the winter storm himself. So I'm gonna have to go in probably about half hour. So when I do end off my live stream, he will probably go live. But yeah, I didn't expect viewership to be too high with this live stream, obviously, because everyone is in the weather community seems to be live for today. So I get it. If y'all could like the stream, share it, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that'd be much appreciated. Mark and Matt Payne are chasing. But yeah, if anybody has any questions about the location, feel free to let me know, and I will answer them. Yeah, we're just gonna kind of watch and see what this event kind of does as it impacts. Yeah, look at that. So, I assume this is freezing rain. If not, it is rain, which is very cold rain. But there could definitely be isolated spots of slick travel. Kind of, you can see, for example, on this road here. I'm not sure if that's ice. But yeah, definitely kind of watch out if you're in southeastern Missouri. Oops, I did not mean to click out of radar Omega. Yo, what's up, Jesse? Nothing much. So, once again, if you're sad tuning, we are watching, excuse me, our major winter storm as it tracks over the Midwestern United States. We're also talking about our severe weather outbreak and possible tornado outbreak across the deep south. And we're kind of just watching as our supercell develop, but we do have a tornado warning approaching Monroe, Louisiana here. Alright, it does have some rotation going on, although it is starting to weaken out a little bit. But that's going to be approaching Interstate 20 fairly soon, so. Looks like all of our chasers have kind of landed on St. Joseph as their current target area. This is actually really close to our Dragon Nation camp here, and look at that. It continues to deteriorate. Conditions continue to get worse and worse. Yeah, look at that. Very low pressure. 979 millibars. That is crazy. But this is near Fawcett, Missouri here. 14 degree temperature there with a dew point 14 degrees. Also, that wind chill being below 0, so that's pretty wild. But if you look at your wind gusts here, we are recording winds of over 20 miles per hour actually overnight here. So, but yeah, velocity or visibility is definitely dropping there. Alright, so according to Davis, freezing rain is starting to mix in, and he's in central Illinois there, so that is going to help us out actually with this coverage, because you can see the radar kind of does split here between freezing rain and snow right along his area. I believe that was just a alert sound. We just did get a news for thunderstorm warning. We'll be right down to that shortly, but if you look at your winter weather radar here, alright, you can see right around here is where we have kind of this space where, you know, between snowfall and freezing rain. Alright, so right into here is where we're starting to see that switch over, and I do think that that will likely continue over the next couple of hours, because we have this very heavy band of freezing rain in the St. Louis area that's starting to kind of come up through here. So if you are in central Illinois, definitely, you know, watch out, because you've got some heavy freezing rain coming up to your area. Alright, so we did just get a news for your thunderstorm warning. I believe this is down here north of Shreveport. Or no. No, we just looked at that one. It's I think it's this one. Yeah, south of Pine Bluff. Alright, this is going out for Hampton, Thornton, Star City, Grady, and Risen, Louisiana here. Alright, where that actually, I guess it would be Arkansas. Alright, but that's for 60 mile per hour wind gusts and penny size hail. So, definitely be aware of that. Indoors and away from windows. But yeah, things are really, really starting to get active here. Wow, so very heavy snowfall coming down. This is in Pikeville, Kentucky. This is where Ryan Holiday lives here. This is live cam. You can see the temperature right around 24 degrees. But the snow is definitely starting to come down out there, and that's in southern Kentucky. So the snow is definitely starting to spread. It's working its way east here. Yeah, look at that. Wow. Over 50 dBZs. Or no. That's closer to 40 actually. But close to 40 dBZ snowfall, still very, very heavy. But we can take a look. Let's look at Power US. Because I do want to take a look at power outages here. So yeah, if you take a look here, Missouri, already as of, let's see, when was this last updated? This was last updated at 1:16. So about as of 10 minutes ago, we already have over 20,000 customers without power out in Missouri. Also Texas with over 11,000 people without power, likely from our severe thunderstorms, which is pretty wild. So yeah, they are starting to produce power outages here. Look at all these eastern counties in Texas that are without power there. So pretty wild stuff. But that number will likely rise in Louisiana, and I'm telling you guys, there will be over at least 50,000 customers without power in Missouri, and I would not be surprised at all if you told me that, you know, there are over 100,000. Honestly, with the ice storm, with the potential this ice storm has, we could have a few 100,000 people without power in Missouri alone. So, you know, just kind of tells you the potential that this event has. So we could have freezing rainfall near Poplar Bluff, Missouri. That's a fairly populated area. Also has a history of being hit by or at least impacted by tornadic activity. So, you know. Did I have time for coffee this morning? I don't drink coffee. Really, for me, if I have caffeine, it's probably like, I don't even know. I really don't drink caffeine that much. I guess a Celsius would be fine, but, I mean, I had to get up early to go to church, and then right after I got on here to do severe weather coverage, so honestly, not really, but yes, there will be a lot of cancellations tomorrow. Elevators by rain moves. Mountain Dew? Does Mountain Dew actually have caffeine? I don't even know what Mountain Dew has. I like it, but I feel like that's more of a soda rather than like a wake-up energy drink or whatever. Yeah, so I'm actually going to pull up Storm Chaser on my phone, because I do want to take a look at the, what's going on out there. Let's see what Storm Read is showing. Oh, wow. Yeah, they're all stopped, I think. Let's see, Connor Croft. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, yeah, we have blizzard conditions for sure. So, they're in St. Joseph, Missouri, I believe. See, I wish I could show them on stream, obviously, you know, it's their work, so I don't want to, you know, get copyrighted for that, but, they are currently experiencing blizzard conditions right now. Invisibility is gotta be at least less than quarter of a mile. We have the thing is though that we have really strong winds, and also it looks like there's over a foot of snow out in that area. So wherever he's at, conditions are really not looking good at all. Stay off those roadways. The worst thing you could be doing in a winter storm is you know, being on roads. Especially if you're in the winter storm warning, the blizzard warning, or the ice storm warning. Because if you lose traction, your whole life could change in just, you know, a few seconds. So, just gotta keep that in the back of your mind. If it's a dire emergency, if you need to, like, really get something or go somewhere, I mean, then you just need to make sure you're driving with extra caution. But even in those situations, with this kind of winter storm, you want to make sure you're driving on the roads, you know, as less frequent as possible. You just got back from church too? Nice. Yeah, I think. Yeah, the problem is also is that a lot of people are trying to go to church out in this region, getting impacted by the winter storm, and so we're really. I don't see it's kind of weird because I don't want to hold people back from going to church, but also it's just so dangerous to be on the roadways in general. My mom's doing okay. I don't know if you guys heard, but we were ice skating yesterday. She fell and broke her shoulder. But she's home now from the hospital. I think she probably needs surgery later this week on it, because she broke it in like 2 places and it's pretty bad. And I don't know if you guys know this, but we are going to the National Storm Chaser Summit in February, but I think she's going to be alright for that if she does get surgery, so we're kind of hoping she does end up needing surgery. I know it's kind of weird to hope that she needs surgery, but I think that's going to kind of just speed up the process a little bit. But she's recovering. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for asking. I don't know if I announced it yet, but she did break her shoulder. Yeah, so Storm Chaser Vince Welty also has very intense conditions. Likely, you know, visibility less than a quarter of a mile. I mean, you really can't see down the road. yeah, so we still have rotation near Monroe, Louisiana. I don't think they would continue the tornado warning. If the rotation stays like this into Monroe, they might actually do it, just because Monroe is, very populated area. But for now, that's what we got at the moment. And that is indicative, that is shown by 2 radar sites there, so. Now, what would be great if we had like a Lake Providence radar site. That's what we would need. That would perfectly fill our radar hole out here. Because, I mean, you have literally like no radar coverage if you're in like this area. You have just nothing. So, but luckily I think our storms are going to kind of track like this rather than up here, so I think we're going to be fine for radar coverage. We're going to be just fine. Yeah, look at this pocket of winds here, in St. Louis. Let me take a look. Let me get off the screenshot. Yeah, look at that. That's 30 plus mile an hour winds. So we have close to 40 mile an hour winds in St. Louis. I'm gonna tell you right now, if we have snow falling in St. Louis, we have blizzard conditions. Temporarily. I don't think it could be. I mean, it could be ruled a blizzard if things overperform. But if we still have snow falling, I mean, I'm sure that visibility has got to be, horrendous. I'm sure it's at least less than a half a mile, if you're telling me. If you're asking me. Please. But yeah, still 40 to 50 dBZs in some of these areas here. Just getting absolutely smacked by freezing rain. Same thing for Davis's area, around Effingham here. Got some snow mixing with that rainfall, so yeah, heavy snow again. Yeah, I'm sure visibility is really starting to drop, so yeah, we have blizzard conditions in St. Louis right now. So this is not looking good. You see visibility is less than half a mile. Wow. Yeah, so big time blizzard conditions out here in St. Louis Metro. Not looking good at all. Conditions are deteriorating very quickly. Storm chasers are looking at. Yeah, Brandon Kopic's got very heavy snowfall. Looks like feet of snow on the ground. Just terrible conditions. Plows are out, but the roads look terrible still. Let's take a look down here in Wichita. I'm sure, yeah, things are starting to wrap up down here. So, pretty sure, yeah, the blizzard warning expires in 4 hours for this side. Is it different for, let's see. Wow, so actually the blizzard warning expires in 2 hours, only 2 hours in Kansas City. And we still have heavy snow coming down here. I mean, look at this band. I mean, this is still, like, close to 40 dBZs. I mean, look at that. That's 42 dBZs. So, I don't know. I mean, that is in the winter storm warning. But that also expires in 2 hours and 22 minutes, so. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so they did actually just give a special weather statement to the southern part of the line. This is going all the way down from Shreveport to Lufkin, Texas. Look at all these cells that are in front of the line, though, especially this one near Mansfield. You know, if we start seeing rotation with that, obviously it could get concerning. Okay, so the tornado warning expired for our Monroe storm, so we no longer have a imminent tornado threat. It never did get too intense, although we did have confirmation from both radar sites that we had strong and tight rotation. But I don't believe that ever did touch down. So we'll see if we do get reports of any like lowerings or funnel clouds from that storm. But for now, looks like we're doing alright. Okay, wow, so, conditions still, yet again, getting worse here, and now you cannot see these trees anymore, and this has changed over the past, like, couple of hours, or, couple of minutes, honestly, and look how much the game is getting rocked out here. I mean, you have a lot of snow on the ground, but the thing that's amazing me is the visibility. Also, your wind chill right around 0 degrees, which is wild, but, yeah, there's that, those winds. Things are really starting to pick up south of St. Joseph. This is right where all of our storm chasers are reporting blizzard conditions. It's getting super windy over here, so you're going to have to go help your dad outside. Stay safe, and see you later. Alright, see you, Brisbane. Thank you for tuning in. I don't think we've looked at our Burlington, Kansas cam yet. We'll look at it. Yeah, blowing and drifting snow. That visibility is also really low. In fact, that might be lower than our Dragon Nation cam. I mean, you can't really see much in the field. So let's take a look. That's not technically in our blizzard warning, but it's only one county away. So yeah, so this is actually snow. This is not freezing rain. This could be sleet, but for the most part, this is kind of a snow/sleet mix. I mean, I just don't know why it'd be sleet, because, I mean, you have a 15-degree temperature out there, so. The cyclone port is, yeah, 19 degrees, so not even really close to freezing. Way below freezing. Do you think they could issue a blizzard warning for St. Louis? I don't think they would now. I think that they usually issue them only for the areas, you know, that we know are going to see blizzard conditions before the storm. I will say that, you know, I think you could consider it being the right move to issue it for St. Louis, but for now, I'd probably say that they won't. But okay, so things are probably turning over to rain in the Poplar Bluff area. They did nail, actually. They literally nailed it where to put the ice storm warnings. Because this is actually pretty wild. Look where our freezing mark is, which is basically just where the rain and snow line is. Look at that. That lines up perfectly with the outer edges of our ice storm warnings. That is amazing. So, I think the National Weather Service has done a great job. I will say, I think we are seeing slightly more ice than initially expected. We were expecting a little bit of ice out here in, central Illinois, but it's really looking like all of what's over here is going to come up through here, and that's going to take a couple hours to come through. So, I mean, I don't know. But I'm pretty certain we have achieved blizzard conditions for widespread areas at this point. So, yeah. But we will hopefully be live later today. I do have a lot I need to do, but I should be back by like 5 p.m. my time. So I know we have a lot of Central Time people, so it'd be right around 4 p.m. your time. And that's gonna be when the storm will kind of be moving. The worst of it will be moving into like Illinois, Indiana, and eventually into like Kentucky and Ohio there. So we'll probably be able to go live for that. Also, obviously, our tornado outbreak potential is going to ramp up very soon, as we already do have, kind of these supercells. All of these little cells that you're going to see here, all of these cells are going to end up producing, or trying to produce tornadoes. I should definitely not say they will produce, but later today, these storms are going to be a nuisance. All of these that are now popping up, and we're seeing a lot of them. So, hoping that the timing will be just right while I'm gone, that things are going to kind of be, relatively quiet. But hopefully things will get busy only when I will be able to go live once again. So, what's up, Jesse? Welcome back. Yeah, things are honestly, they're looking pretty concerning. What I've been watching a lot is honestly, Eastern Kansas and Western Missouri. If you look at our Dragon Nation cam, I keep going back to this camera. Alright, it seems every minute that the snow gets heavier and the visibility is dropping, so pretty wild stuff with that. Also, winds are starting to pick up, but also, if you look at your Burlington, Kansas cam here, I mean, look at that. The visibility is, like, even lower at that, so, just kind of wild stuff. Alright, we did just get a news for your thunderstorm warning. It's not flashing, I don't know why. Let's see, it's not even popping up, I don't think. Sure it will at some point. Hold on. There we go. Alright, news for your thunderstorm warning for our Shreveport part of the line here that's going out for Minden, Louisiana, Gibbsland, Silby, and Dubberly. Okay, that's for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, hail up to 1 inch in diameter, and does have the tornado possible tag. Interesting thing to note there. Just a lot of areas of close to 50 dBZs. I will say, according to radar and from Patrick Randall, who is currently in northern St. Louis area, we have gotten at least close to blizzard conditions. So that's honestly what we've seen. But as far as tornado activity, we've not seen tornadoes today. I don't know if you're here for the Monroe storm. We did have a tornado warning cell near Monroe, but that has expired. Did not produce. Oh, just had heavy snow. It's nice. They're in Utah. Actually, Nevada. Let's go in Vegas. Oh, I forgot the mountains always block the radar sites. I always forget that. Georgetown. There we go. Alright. Oh, I do see that. So, yeah, we have a little bit of rotation west of Georgetown near Atlanta. That did just cross Highway 167. This is in central Louisiana here. Very wet snow. Yeah, I'm assuming it's probably big flakes as well. Yeah, that is actually wow. So yeah, both radar sites do show rotation there. So if that does get stronger, we'll have to watch out. I don't know, Kevin. I think the Simpson radar is slightly closer. So I don't know why I just lost Georgetown. Where is it at? I know it's up north. I don't know. I don't know why I can't find Georgetown. There we go. So I think the closest radar site is probably our radar site south of Alexandria. Oh wow, rotation is picking up actually. Let's see. Oh, that might be a CC drop. I think we have a tornado on the ground. We might have a tornado on the ground. Southwest of Zion. This needs to get warned right now. Yeah, that could be a CC drop. Because that does line up with velocities pretty well. So if you're in Zion, get to shelter now. You've got very strong rotation with a possible tornado on the ground. That's not good. Yeah, that is not contamination. That is... No, it's hard to tell. We might have a brief tornado. I don't know. We'll see. But if you're in Zion, get to shelter. I'd say they should warn this for sure. Yeah, that rotation's been going for a while now, though, and it did get very strong at some point. That did actually get close to 90 miles per hour. A couple of pixels of 80. So. Yeah, that's not good. See, this is one of our little, like, blips here. This isn't even really a big cell at all. Already does have rotation with a possible tornado on the ground. Also near Leesville, we could have some rotation developing. It would be very broad, but that's a possibility there. So, fortunately, things do actually look like they are getting a little bit more active. Alright, see you, Jesse. Appreciate it. Come to watch. Yeah, if anybody has any questions about location, feel free to let me know and I will answer them. But for now, I think that we're just going to kind of watch our cell that has very strong rotation, possible tornado. Are they expecting snow to develop in southern Missouri? I doubt it. I think this is going to stay all ice. I mean, if you're talking about, like, down here, then we'll see. But if temperatures do drop low enough, which they might, then, I mean, we'll see. But I don't know. I mean, if you're talking about south of our winter storm warnings, then I'd say probably not. And there could be maybe some snow mixing in here, but this is probably freezing rain, if you're asking me. Okay, so they haven't warned our Georgetown storm yet, but that will likely continue to rotate. So we're going to have to obviously make sure that we're paying close attention to that. But that's going to be moving up towards Irenia or Ola, Louisiana. Actually, that's probably going to parallel the highway. So if you're traveling on Highway 84, just make sure that you are staying aware that there is an area of rotation just to your west. Okay, no clear CC drop, but we might have just had a brief tornado, and now it's gone. So I'm convinced we might have just had a tornado near Zion, because it did line up with velocities briefly there. So I don't know. It's hard to tell, but right there we might have had a brief tornado touchdown, but I think at this point it's probably lifted. But yeah, not good with that. And that is also trying to develop a hill course, so that's a cell we're gonna need to watch over the next couple of hours. Okay, broad rotation near Anoco. Also near Burr Ferry, all in Louisiana. But yeah, at this point, the strongest part of our line is definitely in the Shreveport area, also extending into parts of southern Arkansas there, so we'll kind of watch that as that sweeps through. Look here near El Dorado, could have some stronger areas of winds there. Obviously, once again, there's a possibility we'll have some pockets of 60 to 70 mile an hour winds develop here. Alright, but this is really starting to kind of just come together. The whole event is really looking like how it's going to turn out, although we are seeing much more discrete storms, and we'll probably see them fire off tornado warnings after tornado warnings. But they are going to be moving into Mississippi shortly. I think I'm just used to saying Louisiana a lot, but I think I might have said like Louisiana instead of Mississippi. Hello, James Taylor. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, we did just get news for your thunderstorm warning. This is for our storm, that actually did just, briefly could have just produced a tornado. It's weird, they did not issue a tornado warning for this. They actually issued a severe thunderstorm warning, but, there's that possible area of rotation. This is for 60 mile per wind gusts and hail, up to 1 inch in diameter. I mean, I guess if they probably don't think that there's any rotation going on here that's too concerning, because they didn't even put on the tornado possible tag. I think at the very least, you should give this a tornado possible tag, but, I mean, there it is. Severe thunderstorm warning, so. I'm pretty sure Brisbane left James Taylor. Alrighty, well, I unfortunately do have to go now. I will be back for severe weather and, more winter storm coverage later today. Alright, but to kind of, end things off here, I'm going to say right now, there will be a period of very strong winds and snow across this region here over the next couple of hours, and it is occurring right now. There could be some isolated spots of near blizzard conditions, but all you got to do is just, looking at the big picture here, stay indoors, make sure that you got your generator running, but just please avoid, those just, sidewalks and those roadways as much as possible because they're going to be covered in ice if you're getting impacted by the ice storm. But just make sure that you are staying safe out there, staying warm, and that's pretty much it. So thank you for coming to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next live stream, which will be hopefully later today.